family marrying tech for one-stop print shop. And where is Jack? Okay, so after we're going to take a group photo with all of us, a different setup. But thank you so much for joining us. And anyone who can hear me, I don't know why you're sitting over there when you could be sitting over here. It's much more fun over here. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. As I said, this is technically the first panel of the Printerverse, even though we have been having programming all day. Oh my God, Mandy, I'm so sorry, I did it again. I'm supposed to ask her when we're live, and I keep forgetting to do that, and I am very sorry, so thank you. Jamie, it's your job to remind me. This is actually the first panel of the day because we had mover and shakers interviews and we had an event here. But I wanted to make this the first panel of the day very specifically because as far as, I guess in a way I've earned myself an opinion about this stuff through 8 years of working in the trenches and talking to a lot of people. And the opinion that I am currently of is that in order for a print shop to really succeed in the future, they have to be one-stop shopping. They have to be able to educate their customers, and if they create and educate loyal customers, they can be loyal customers for every single service that a printer offers. And because I am a print customer, and I know that I am still in touch with the vendors that teach me things, that have helped me, that have become resources. And that applies to suppliers as well. And as all the printers in here in the audience and at home and who'll be watching these replays for years to come, you're gonna know, heard it here first, one-stop shopping is the way we need to go. So that is why I wanted to start off the show with this panel and also help you guys prepare for your shopping trip in the hallway. What should you be looking for? So, Sean, you out of breath? Or you good now? Okay. First I'd like to introduce Sean from Motion Cutter, first-time Alliance member. Yay! Please tell everybody who you are, what you do, and most importantly, how are you helping your customers make money?
Okay, my name's Sean Stanley. I'm the...
Hold on, he's British, so we're going to have English, excuse me. Yeah, loud and obnoxious like an American.
Okay, I'll try my very best. My name's Sean Stanley. I'm the Global Sales Manager for Motion Cutter. We're printers ourselves that invented a piece of machinery because there was nothing out there that could finish digitally and help us be a one-stop shop. We needed a piece of finishing equipment which could do labels, which could do packaging, which could speed up our times of our products, and also make new products as well by doing variable data finishing, in being able to cut names out of products, being able to make one of something without it being a wait for the customer, because the customer wants it now. And particularly in a digital age, it's got to be shipped at the same time. And the whole rip to ship principle it's immediate. And so the thing is, with a laser system like we have, is we've made it so that a customer can come in and have any product and any product finished on almost any substrate as well. With a laser system, you can cut everything except PVC because it lets off chlorine, and one, that may hurt your staff, and secondly, it really hurts my machine. So we ask people to not use PVC.
Thanks so much. Joe from Docket Manager.
Hello,
also a first-time Alliance member. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Like Sean, we are printers that decided to be software developers because there were no MIS and web-to-print systems out there at the time that were really working well for us. So we develop software, and that's what we do. We've gotten out of the print industry now as far as printers, and we're looking totally at software, and we're a fully integrated web-to-print and MIS solution. So it's a two-way communication. We know the industry, and we're actually really helping our printers to be more efficient, more productive, more profitable through the sets of tools that we offer to them. It's an easy interface. It's a very simple learning curve in getting the system up and going. And the biggest thing that we do, and I failed to kind of say this morning, so I want to say it now, but one of the biggest things that we do is we'll set up that system for you. So one of the biggest things that clients tell us is switching MIS systems and web-to-print systems is a very painful thing, and we've realized that, so we do that conversion for you, or that setup for you. So we're freeing up a lot of the time with the printer in doing that initial setup so they can concentrate continuing on building their business and running their business.
Thanks so much. Jim from RMGT.
Well, thanks, Deborah.
Can I just say, RMGT is this is your three-peat, I believe.
Three-peat, yeah.
The three-peat for the Alliance, and also every morning, either in my booth or in the RMGT booth, do not miss the clappy thing.
The clappy thing,
The
yes.
clappy thing. It's a Japanese ceremony of team building, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. We're all going to do it tomorrow, everybody. So go ahead.
Yeah, we'll have fun with that. Well, my name's Jim Luttrell. I'm the marketing manager for RMGT. You might say, well, what in the world is an offset press manufacturer doing on this kind of a panel? I mean, isn't offset dead? And if you listen to the talking heads, you would think that the only investment that a printer would make would be buying a digital press. That would be the only smart thing to do. But the fact of the matter is that most commercial printers, between 60 as high as 70% of their revenue continues to be offset printing. And so RMGT creates technologies that take the core business for most commercial printers and adding technology like, for example, LED UV curing now brings the efficiencies that people want, like a turnkey with a digital press, to be able to just push a button and start. Well, with short make-readies, and then on the back end of the press, when a sheet of paper can come out of the back of an offset press, dry, and take it right into finishing, well, now you're talking about something that actually rivals digital, because after a certain price point, quantities, digital doesn't make sense. There's a number of substrates where digital won't work. And so for a lot of commercial printers, their core business continues to be offset. And so RMGT manufactures presses that kind of address the short-run nature of today's needs of printers and delivers those solutions. So I think in a short way, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And you have one of my favorite taglines, offset quality digital quantities.
That's
I just
right.
think
Yeah, that's right.
that's a genius tagline. I'm sorry, it says exactly what they do. So marketing people, that's a good one. Marie-Eve, how good was that from Media Clip? She's French-Canadian. Not French, French-Canadian.
Yeah, from Montreal. So my name is Marie-Eve Lemieux, and I'm the marketing VP at Media Clip. We're purely a software development company, and a lot of the panelists will talk about automation when you're talking about a one-stop shop. And what we're providing is actually the front-end tool which allow printer and retailer to offer any kind of personalized product online. So in the case of a printer, it could help them reach out directly to end user, especially when we come to online on-demand printing, or you can also use it to offer the functionality of creating customized product for your own business-to-business customer as well. So we provide the tool that helps you create like photo books, calendar, any type of product that you can customize with images, photography, any kind of assets as well. So we are like the beginning of that automated process.
Thanks so much. And MediaClip, first-time Alliance member. Everybody welcome them. And I actually had dinner with Andre from MediaClip. We were at Discoup Lyon together, and as we were talking, he took my picture, and I was a pillow. Then I was a sofa cushion, and then I was a cup. And their software is really spectacular in that you don't have to program it yourself. You kind of just buy it. And I hate to use this comparison, but you kind of become your own Vista print because you can print on anything, and it's something you don't have to develop yourself, which we always like. I'm going to bastardize your name, so instead of doing that, let me just introduce Salomar, and you can say it once correctly.
My name is Ligia Mora, and that's okay, Deb. I'm used to it.
Ligia, now I
Yes.
got it.
Not a problem. I'm really used to it. With Solomar Systems, I'm the Global Business Development Manager for Solomar. We're a software solution company. We provide workflow and automation and process. We've been in the business for over 26 years, and we've grown with the industry. And what we've done is we've helped our customers integrate some of those portions where it comes to after what happens when the documents have been composed, what do you do with them, how to optimize them, make the best use of the workflow and what they have in place so that they can have a greater ROI. And our best customers are existing customers because we've grown with them. So that's how we can help. We've been helping customers for 26 years improve their environment, make it faster, more integrated, more automation, and provide visibility throughout the whole printing workflow.
Excellent. Hello. I have a horrible, horrible habit of doing this when there's an Aussie around, so my apologies. I cannot help myself and go, hello, good day.
You know, that's British, right?
I know. It's not even the right accent. I'm completely aware of it. Don't even get me started if I have to do Irish or anything like that. It does not work out for me. So, Adrian, first-time Alliance member, Print IQ. Thank you so much. Everybody, welcome Print IQ to the Alliance. All the way from Australia, people. All the way from down under, eh? Oh, that was closer.
Much closer.
Okay, Adrian, who are you? What do you do? And how are you helping customers make money?
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrian Fleming. I'm the Global Sales Director for Print IQ. Print IQ is a software company that began life as a web-to-print supplier. And over the last 20-odd years, we have grown into moving into the MIS space and now finally into what we call the Management Workflow Solution, or MWS space. Our tagline is integrate, innovate, and automate. I think we add a lot of value to our customers in removing those islands of isolation within a print shop. Someone else spoke about that on the panel before, helping to remove duplication and really allowing you to focus your resources on the activities that generate money for the business rather than the repeat busy work. And I do a better Australian accent than you.
You do a much better Australian. But can you do a New York accent? I'd want to know. No, you're not even going to try? Okay. Okay. This panel, One Stop Print Shop, is ultimately about partnerships, because if a print shop is going to become one stop, its equipment is going to have to talk to other people. So with that in mind, who are your industry partners at the show and beyond? And in general, how do your partnerships benefit your customers? Yeah, or? Okay, Sean? We'll go down the road this one, then we'll come back next one.
Okay, so we're a relatively new company that have grown very, very fast. So at the beginning, we were very much standalone. But we've found that to make the most value for our customers, we need to integrate with other people. There needs to be seamless software from the point of receiving the file from the customer to the point that it's not just going through the press, it's coming through to our finishing equipment as well. The problem is everybody's got a different idea of how that should be. So whether it be JDF workflows, again, JDFs, how are they going to be? Everyone seems to read it in a different way. So it's unfortunate that as a finishing manufacturer, we're kind of having to work with multiple people on multiple routes. But then part of that is down to you as customers, that you choose the route that you want as well. So we are working with people like HP. We're a HP partner to go into their print OS and their workflow systems on that and direct to finish. We're working with another group here called OpenSoft, who've got a JDF workflow system, Infigo Software, which is in the UK as well. And it's horrible that we have to go through so many different routes like this, and it would be wonderful if the customers themselves, if you, the PSPs, would tell us what it is you want, and then we will hopefully bang our heads together and come out with the right way. Because to me, as a finishing manufacturer, it's the software workflow integration which is the thing that is really needed the most to complete this idea of a one-stop print shop.
Thanks, which probably makes sense why there's a lot of software companies on this panel.
So sort it out.
I have to say that the way that I dole out the panels is I put all the topics and what we're going to talk about out to all the Alliance members, and they get to choose what they want to be on. And this one, I thought all the manufacturers would be on. And it's interesting that not one of them thought that this was better left to the software and the kind of finishing people. Oh, well, you are. You're the oddball, but you're not. Yeah, but actually, I have a question directly for you because you are kind of weird, but it's not yet, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Joe, I want to finish. Same question. Your partners at the show and beyond, and how are those partnerships beneficial to your customers?
Well, partnerships at the show, we are working on partnerships currently with Xerox and with Ricoh. We're working on integrating with their workflow software with ours. So the job will come in from the web to print. It'll go into the MIS and then off into the workflow utilizing their softwares. It's still in the very beginning stages, but we're definitely working on that. Beyond, we're always open to integrate with anybody that makes sense to the printer to bring value to that. So if a printer comes up to us and says, we'd like to be able to work with Salesforce.com or some other software manufacturer that is going to bring value to that printer, we're definitely open to that. I was talking with some people back at our booth before I came here that we're looking for different types of integration with different solutions, and our main goal is to be productive for the printers. So we're open to really integrate with anybody that's open to integrate with us that's going to bring value to that printer.
Jim, RMGT partnerships at the show, beyond, and how they're benefiting your customers. And I hope paper comes into this conversation too.
Well, I mean, paper, you can run paper through the press, and I guess that makes sense. But I'm fascinated by this topic because I think what we're sounding like is it's really a problem that our industry has with standards, right? That standards, what's the standard going to be, and how everyone's going to implement it. There was a great illustration that I saw one time where they, it's like deciding that we're going to bolt everything together using bolts and nuts. But one company's using a 16-inch thread, another one's using a 32nd-inch thread, and even though we've all agreed that we're going to use bolts and nuts, my nut doesn't screw onto your bolt, that kind of a thing. From an offset press manufacturer, if we talked about standards, one of the standards that we use to measure color is delta E, right? So how do we ensure that the color that we're printing matches the expectation of our client? And so to your question about partnerships, so if you're running a press and you want to slap the sheet on there and zip, you want to read the color bar, you have to have a strategic alliance with the best spectrophotometer companies in the industry. And so RMGT works with X-Rite, Pantone, and with Teshcon. And so those will be the spectral devices. But again, you need more than hardware because you can catch the spectral color data, but then how are you going to take that information and then on the fly adjust the keys on your press so that Coca-Cola Red's always going to stay red at the beginning of the run, in the middle of the run, and toward the end of the run? Well, that's where we have OEM relationships with color management software, so that as you see these pressmen put the sheet on and it scans and reads it, you're talking about strategic alliances with spectrophotometer companies, like I mentioned, and then because we have an OEM arrangement, we work with other companies in the color management space. And then if there are any color gurus out there, then you realize that there's other details that you need to get. It's a whole lot. You'd think it'd be so simple to match color from substrate to substrate, or that my pop-up display is going to look the same as my Coca-Cola carton. I mean, as all of you know, it's frankly impossible. but we get within a range where our eye says it's okay and it's acceptable. So the partnership gets into that kind of minutia and that whole color, science stuff. And to your point about paper, it's important because the substrates that you print on. So, we obviously work with all, any paper, you're going to run any kind of the paper through, but beyond paper, with the RMGT presses, a reason why a lot of printers are also expanding their business is they can print on other substrates. So styrenes, plastics. So all of this comes into play, and you need to have those relationships in order to get the color right.
Thanks so much. Marie? Actually, she'll take the other mic. Thank you. Media clip.
Well, we're lucky because we're a software company. So the way we've designed the software, like you said, the problem is when you're trying to fit together two pieces that will usually not go together. But in our case, and it was one of the basics when we started the software 10 years ago, is to build an open architecture which will allow our system to be integratable with other different through partnership, sorry. And the thing is, since we're offering the software, we still need to work with integrators. We still need to work with printer system for production, like HP. We're part of their partner. We've integrated with OneFlow. And on the other end of the spectrum, we also need to provide for some of our customer, like e-commerce platform. So we have partnership with e-commerce platform, which allows us to offer a turnkey option. And we also have partnership with like color correction or perfectly clear, for example, that could be integrated with our software. Actually, this is why we're using an API structure, allowing us to, or I would say allowing our customer to really choose the type of user experience they want to provide, and then they can select their choice of platform. We just recently completed a plugin for Magento. So these are, we need to be partnering with the commerce section of the business and the production section of the business. And this is why it was so key in our development to make it as open and as easy to integrate as we did.
Thanks so much. Lehia? Am I close?
Lehia.
Sorry.
It's okay. You can call me
Solimar.
Lee.
Lee?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Bless you.
No problem.
Lee. Oh, Lee Solimar.
Yes.
Por favor.
So one of the advantages about being a software company is that we can be a vendor-neutral solution. We have several partners that are out on the floor, for example, Xerox, Konica Minolta, Screen. But one of the nice things about our solutions is that we can help our customers with whatever equipment they have because we are not specifically focused on one type of vendor. So our solutions make it very easy to be flexible and provide that solution to customers to no matter what kind of equipment they're going to be acquiring, they can be assured that we're going to be able to drive that equipment, provide functionality, workflow for that equipment, and focus on the production floor, on their actual environment, not just on the equipment. Now, being in business for over 26 years, what that gives us is the experience for driving all these machines, but also being able to manipulate the data, making sure that it's going to drive the printers at rated speed, making sure that we're optimizing the data, making sure that we're providing visibility and integration. We've recently developed a solution that will start integrating with the different equipment beyond the printing. So those are some of the things that we're focusing on, and we partner with some of the finishing companies out there. So again, one of the advantages is that we're providing this power for our customers. The nice thing about our solutions is that they are customer installable and manageable. So we're not a services solution. Some of the solutions out there are very services intensive. So if they developed a workflow for a specific printer, a specific device, if they acquire something new or they change something in the future, they require a whole new set of services. But I believe that one of the advantages about providing a solution such as ours is that we're empowering our customers so that they can grow. Again, that ROI becomes very quick and very easy for them because they can see how they can manage their own solutions, make modifications themselves, and they have the power at the tip of their fingertips.
Thanks so much. Adrian, same question. Who are you guys partnering with in the United States, globally? We have a global audience out there.
Sure.
And how are your partnerships benefiting your customers?
So just a quick comment first. I heard someone earlier say that the industry perhaps needed more standards. In the technology space, that can be a real balancing act. You know, a few years ago it was XML and JDF. API is the flavor of the month now, and in the software space, it kind of moves in dog years. So by definition, the standards kind of mean you're sitting on a constant platform for a period of time. And I guess the balancing act is, do you standardize on something that perhaps is out of date more quickly than you can finish the standard, if you like? But to the specific question, who do we partner with? So we have a whole range of partners, and this might take a while. I don't know what time the show closes, but
Go for it. We
yeah.
want to know the benefits of working with you. That's
Sure.
why we're here.
So we work across lots of different disciplines. In the accounting area, we integrate with people like QuickBooks and MyOb, newcomers like Xero, Microsoft AX, Great Plains, etc. In the pre-press land, we work with people like Agfa and Kodak for Apogee and Prinergy, with ESCO for their front-end softwares, with Enfocus for their switch products and pit stop products. Chili Publish for variable data we integrate with. I know I'm forgetting some because it's, like I said, it's a long list, but our philosophy is to take those products that are kind of best in class, and as someone said here before, rather than reinventing the wheel, let's integrate in a modern and flexible way so that if someone else comes along with another product that needs to be integrated, rather than having to start again, we can take the methodology we've used for integrating in one of those other packages and just repurpose it.
Cool. Well, I'll stick with you for the next question,
Sure.
if you don't mind. So the purchase of new products usually includes workflow considerations, even if you're part of a workflow consideration. What are some of those considerations people have to make before they even entertain calling you? And are there any situations where it just will not work?
I kind of like going last. You got more time to think about your answer,
Sorry.
didn't you?
I'm giving Sean a break.
So in our space, we rarely meet someone that is greenfielding a site. The concept of a new print company in most geographies is reasonably foreign, so there is some form of infrastructure or hardware or workflow or something in place. So I think the primary consideration that most people have when they look at products like ours is, how do we fit into that environment? How do we bolster the offering rather than adding a whole bunch of duplication and having to, again, reinvent the wheel? So that's usually the area we first start, which then leads into the, can you integrate into my flux capacitor in my factory to make this work?
Awesome. Awesome, Aussie. Lee from Solimar, how easy was that?
You got it. Just like Adrian was saying, one of the things that we do is, like you, we encounter environments where there's hardly anything ever new, except, of course, there's quite a few things that people do custom for themselves. But one of the things that we try to do to avoid surprises once we're in the middle of implementation or helping them out is to do an evaluation, or to do an on-site evaluation of what they have in their environment, a 1 or a 2 day on-site visit, and talk to everybody in the different departments to try to figure out what is it that you're doing, what's happening throughout the entire workflow, try to find the hiccups, document it, and have a much clearer and better idea of what's happening. Once that is done, then we'll start kind of piecing things together and finding out what are the priorities for our customers. What is it that's most important to them? They might have some manual processes which they are okay to deal with, and it's okay if they're doing that, a certain specific task manually, but others that might be not as efficient. So we need to focus on what their needs are. And in order to do that, we need to understand their environment. So I think the key here is to speak with them and get a very clear understanding, do like a 1 or a 2 day approach of visiting them and getting a very clear understanding of what's happening in their environment.
Thank you so much. Marie from Media Clip.
Well, I think that we've all said it. It's very important to start with the existing infrastructure of the company. So, well, we're the software part, the front-end part. So mainly what we're trying to achieve is to see what's their marketing goal, because they need to have a marketing strategy. We're talking about the pitfalls, and what to avoid is, first you need to have like a marketing strategy, and then what we do is we sit with their customer and see what they have internally, and we have different business model, different even tool, so we can connect the existing infrastructure they have with the marketing plan they want to achieve. So we're in the middle and making it happening.
Jim.
Could you repeat the question again, Deborah?
Absolutely. The purchase of any new products includes workflow considerations. What are some of those considerations relating to your products and services? And are there any situations where it just does not work?
Well, again, when it comes to an offset press, it's kind of the question doesn't completely fit, but as I think about what you're saying and how a press what you have to make sure of is that your pre-press. So if you don't have a seamless connection between your pre-press and your press, you're going to have a problem. So the fingerprinting of the press, the curves, and all of the software that you need in order to make sure that your plates are tuned to your press, that's something that has to happen. It's a step that you can't shortcut. You mentioned, well, is there some things that just won't happen? If you don't do that, and just kind of, and no commercial printer would ever do that. These are things that are very well established, but in today's workflow, you've got to make sure that, like in the case of the JDF information, if you're working with an MIS system, that information now trickles down to your press, to the offset press, and then back out through finishing. So all of those things are important to make sure that you have that connectivity.
Thanks so much. Joe. Docket manager, I'm sorry. I try to remind everybody what companies you're from, because they'll remember that more than they'll remember the guy's name was Joe.
Perfect. So docket manager. Anyways, a big consideration or a big issue that I think some print shops will run into when they're trying to integrate that workflow is not having shop floor personnel buy into what they're doing. A lot of times decisions are made from an executive level, and when it comes down, okay, this is what we're doing, and you're just going to have to do it and hope things go well. So one of the things that we like to do when we're implementing our workflow software is get the buy-in and make sure that the shop floor personnel, the people that are actually doing the work day in and day out, has that buy-in of that new piece of software, that new workflow, because if they're going to get excited about it, they're going to know that they're part of the team. The more effective that solution is going to work in increasing workflow efficiencies throughout the process.
Thanks so much. Sean, motion cutter.
Lasers are still very new, and there's only a small percentage of printers out there that are using them at the moment. It's an exciting technology. People seem to think that they need to do a lot to integrate this into what they're doing, but basically it's a die cutting file. So if you're die cutting already, you're doing all of this. All we need is the PDF, any vectored format file, and we're up and running. But we do need to educate our customers and also our customers' customers, because there's so many new things that you can do. Variable data finishing, being able to make every single sheet completely different in the finishing. If your end customers don't know they can do it, then they're never going to ask for it. So for integration from our point of view, it's really about education. It's about showing people what's possible with a laser. Yes, you can do all of your general die cutting, you can do your packaging, you can do your labels, you can do all of these things, but for me, the exciting thing from us from being a printer was seeing the return rates we were getting on direct mails from 40% and above by adding variable data finishing into the equation as well, and making personalized products for people with their names on, or things that we had details of their interests. So I think from our point of view, the integration side is easy because you're doing it already for dies, but the key thing is helping our customers to understand what's possible, because as we say, the limit is your own imagination.
Thanks so much. Does anyone have any questions before we... Oh, yes, I love you. You're my new favorite question asker. Can you come up? I love this guy. Oh, thank you. You should just... He's my new favorite question asker.
Here you go. Hello. Okay.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry to ask this, but first of all, I don't understand the terminology of one-stop print shop, and I have some sort of idea, but I'm a little bit confused. So first, I want to clarify what it is.
Okay. So for me, and maybe this is a good, we could ask the panel this, it's a good. For me, when I came up with the topic, I meant for a printer to have as many services as possible under one roof so that a customer only has to go to one place to buy everything. So in a slang expression in America is one stop, meaning that I only have to go to one place to get everything I need, like a grocery store. Imagine if you had to get a fruit here and a meat here, but if you go to a grocery store, it's one stop. Everything is there. Okay. So that's what I meant by it. But hold, does anyone have a different definition that you might want to apply to this? It doesn't have to be mine. Yes, please.
We see it playing out differently in different geographies, which is, I think, largely driven by population base. In places like Australia, where there's only 23 million people, kind of one part of America, print shops have had to become one-stop shops because they just need to offer that to their customers. Whereas what we see in some other geographies, there is still scope for shops to be specialists. And if I can do a shameless advert here, one of our principles is a product we have in our product called Link. And it enables a print shop, say, that specialises in envelopes, to share its products out to another Print IQ user. And then from every perspective, outwardly and inwardly, it looks like Print Shop A is actually manufacturing Print Shop B's products. But what's happening behind the scenes is they're sharing. So it's almost collaborative one-stop print shop.
I love that. That's a fantastic model. Did that answer set the framework for you for one stop? Okay, perfect. Now go ahead. Ask your question.
That's what I was thinking anyway. So that's good. So after knowing that one-stop print shop is, so I don't understand what you are offering. Because I want to do this one-stop printing shop.
You want to be one-stop print shop?
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that.
So what are you offering?
Okay, what do you need to be a one-stop print shop?
So do we need all of this, or you are the competitors and I have to choose one of you, or?
I don't think anybody on this panel is technically a competitor. Is that true? Are you aren't with Solomar, right? You probably the closest. You guys consider yourself competitors, Solomar and? No, but nobody on this particular panel happens to be a competitor. They all offer something different. But two people here are workflow based, right? One, your estimate base, your extra product base. They all have a contribution of something that could contribute to a one-stop print shop. Yes, please, Sean. It's a good question. It's a big question.
As a printer myself, and with finishing equipment, I have the feeling and experience that if you can kind of print anything, to be a one-stop print shop, it's the finishing that makes you able to do everything. You know, you can do everybody can print a sheet of paper.
And the software, my friend. I'm sorry. It's going to boil down to the software and the finishing.
And the software as well. But for me, it's the ability to finish multiple products, because it's not about just printing on a sheet of paper. You know, every printer can print on a sheet of paper. It's about how you then take that piece of paper to be able to become anything that your customer could want. So whether it be a piece of direct mail, whether it be a poster, whether it be a packaging, whatever, you can get every single thing that you need from one place. And yes, you will need a mixture of software to get there, and you will need a mixture of finishing equipment to get there. There are two camps on the one-stop part. One is, if you're online and you're selling online, it's very easy to be a one-stop shop because you just plug into lots of other people. But to be that printer, which is somebody can just come to and say, here's my list of things, can you do them, and I want them tomorrow, please, that's a lot more difficult. And I would say almost impossible unless you've got endless amounts of money to have every single piece of equipment. And so, which is why it's really important to find pieces of equipment, find pieces of software that can do multiple things. Again, I'm plugging my laser system here, but that's kind of the way that we see it working.
Yes, you can too. So Sean is here representing a finishing aspect of One Stop. Joe is here, MIS, the workflow. RMGT, a press possibility. Marie, what do you categorize yourself as? You're kind of a. Go ahead, just tell them quickly. What do you add to the one-stop print shop? One word.
Where the front part of it, where the customer goes online and create the amazing collateral or product they want to sell, and then from us we go through the chain, the value chain, down to everybody at that table.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be us per se, but it's the different steps.
And Solimar, how do you fit into the Solimar, Lee, one-stop print shop? How do you fit into that?
In that we provide flexibility for customers to be able to ingest no matter what kind of data stream they're dealing with, and be able to drive no matter what kind of printer and no matter what kind of finishing. So have the glue that provides this capability without having to restructure or having to rearrange your data to fit whatever your finishing equipment may be. We will help you adjust your data so that it will fit, and you won't actually have to outsource anything to anybody else.
And Adrian, one-stop print shop? How do you fit into that?
I'd call us the combination of traffic cop, glue, and creative director, maybe.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
We have a question from Printers Row. We might have two questions from Printers Row. Jamie.
How you doing? So our company is kind of a one-stop shop. We have offset, we have digital, we have some kind of like motion cutter like you. How long does it take to integrate these systems if I'm starting from scratch? If I need to do the workflow, is it something that's going to take months? Is it going to take a week? What is our downtime?
Well, I think it really depends on the level of integration you're looking for and the, what you're trying to integrate with what piece. So I don't know that there is a set, answer for that. I think the key is to develop a plan right up at the front. Okay, so I need this type of integration to be a part of that shop. So where do we go in each one of those steps, and set realistic deadlines so that we can meet them? And it's a project management thing, but really it depends on the level. It could be anywhere from a month to 2 to 3 months, depending on what you're really looking at integrating and what level you want that integration to be.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, I guess that one of the other factor is like if you're doing it internally or if you have someone that understands the technology and how they fit together. So if the technology is flexible enough, usually it gets easier, but there's no fixed way or fixed length. We had some customer that did it in a week, and others that are not finished yet. So we're trying our best, but we're only the tip of the iceberg. So depending on the workflow they want to have, that may take longer.
Yeah, I know we sort of dealt with this on Print Chat a few times. What if you have a new product release and you need things like packaging, direct mail, window clings, sell sheets? You need color compatibility, and you might be doing digital, offset, and a bunch of different. And how do these all integrate together so you have a consistent quality among the different kinds of printing?
RMGT? Yeah?
Well, you ask a great question, and without speaking for these other folks, I don't think there's anyone on this panel that speaks to the specific question that you're dealing with. But what you're talking about is a solution that is addressed by all the color management companies that are out there, right? So, right, you roll your eyes because, as we deal with those, you get back to standards and how they're going to define what color and so forth. But if you're looking to try to keep color consistent, right, that becomes a whole color, in the back end of the shop, the show floor, you got all those small companies that deal with those things. And you do need to find that solution. There is no out-of-the-box way. If you're a hybrid print supplier, let's say now you've decided to go into short-run packaging, but you're also an offset shop, right? So you're going to be printing on 16-point, card, and then, you're going back to printing on 100-pound gloss text. that ability to color manage that space, you're going to need some assistance with that. And then now the question about how long does something like that take, right? You need to get with color management people. And then once that is all established, then my assumption is that then all of these kinds of solutions that, can kind of let that happen, right? Move that color through. But you do need, in companies like Pantone, when you go to try to, again, it goes back to standards, but when it comes to color, if you're talking about color, that's really where it's at right now, and a great company to talk about those kinds of questions would be Pantone, and they speak quite, eloquently about it, as you probably know.
Adrian, did you want to add to that? And then I'll ask one final question of everybody.
Yeah, just a couple of things. As Docket Manager mentioned, understanding your scope of your integration, I think, is really, really important, because it can be equally important sometimes to say, do I need to integrate this? Integration for integration's sake cannot always be the right result, and you can be adding cost, time, and complexity where it's just not needed. So understanding your requirements and understanding your scope will then, I think, lead you down the path of what are the right things to integrate and what, frankly, do you just not need to worry about.
Okay, so actually, Adrian, hold on to the mic. We'll finish with you.
Okay.
But this is an easy one. So I named this panel, Welcome to the Family, Marrying Tech for One Stop Print Shop. So I want you to look into the camera, and I want you, if you were to propose to a print shop owner, right now, look into the camera and let them know why life without you and your offerings would be unbearable for their bottom line.
Say that again?
I want you to look into the camera and tell the people why life without you and your offerings would be unbearable for the printer's bottom line.
And the easy question is?
Sorry.
So, dear print shop, life without Print IQ would be unbearable, because you would be dealing with different areas of your business not talking to each other, like children squabbling in the spare rooms. With Print IQ in place, we'll bring you together as one cohesive, happy family that integrates together at meal times and goes to bed separately when they need to. Please marry me.
Best answer in the Printerverse ever, because you played my little game. Thank you so much. Lee from Solomar, propose.
I'm supposed to follow after that?
You can do it. You can do it.
Okay.
Why is life unbearable without Solomar? That should be an easy question.
Life would be unbearable without Solomar because implementing new applications, future environments would be a nightmare. We will make things easy and uncomplicated.
That's lovely. Marie-Eve.
Well, I would like to answer in French.
Please answer in French. Give some the people out there some l'amour.
No, I'll do the English version first. So, well, life will be unbearable because personalization or customization of product now represent $21 billion, and it's growing. It's supposed to be reaching $31 billion by 2021. So without MediaClip, how can you address this new trend and this new market? Because you follow where the money goes.
Thank you very much. Merci.
So we have to play the game, right? Okay.
I like when people play my games.
All right. Okay. So, potential printer friend here. You've have a lot of different girlfriends over the years, and they've satisfied. They've met a lot of your expectations, and some of you haven't. But the reason why you want an RMGT press is because honestly, you can fall in love with a lot of different people, and you can have a reasonable amount of happiness, honestly, with a lot of different people. But if you marry RMGT, you'll be very, very, very satisfied. You'll be very happy with the latest technology, and we will live happily ever after.
Oh, yeah, they got Joe.
I don't know how I follow these things. I don't have that level of
Poor Sean,
creativity.
he's last.
So,
But he's
man.
got the English accent, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go from the standpoint of the one-stop print shop. And if you're really going to be a one-stop print shop, you're going to be able to do pretty much everything. You have to know if you're profitable at it or not. I've talked to so many printers who have said, yeah, we do everything from blah, blah, blah. And I'll say, okay, what's your most profitable area? What area do you lose money in? And they don't know. So with a product like Docket Manager, life is going to be so much more bearable because you'll be able to do that one-stop shop effectively because you'll know what's profitable, what's not. You'll be able to make those adjustments so that you can truly be an efficient and profitable one-stop shop.
Thanks so much. Last but not least, motion cutter.
Life will not be unbearable if you don't get a motion cutter laser system. You can continue as you are. You've got your die cutters, you've got your table cutters, your guillotines and everything else. You can continue to make the same products now as you did before. You don't need to look for new products, but your competitors will. They'll be out there, they'll be getting laser systems in. They'll be doing variable data printing. They'll be doing one-stop finishing where you can put almost every single product through with one member of staff managing all of it. It won't be unbearable, it'll be disastrous.
Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you guys staying here for the last panel of the day and for you guys participating and for your lovely proposals. Really appreciate it. We're going to have Jack come up here and just take one official panel picture, but the rest of you can go home. Thank you very much, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Mandy on the camera, Jack, my mom, Lady Scanalot, Andy's back there, Craig, Mary Beth Smith, Girls Who Print. Don't forget, Tuesday's Girls Who Print Day.